Hello, I am Dr. Randall Bell. We're here at Core IQ where we talk about the important things like time management, goal setting, conflict resolution. In fact, the very first one I just said, time management, is what we're going to talk about today. And to discuss this with us, we have an expert on business, on life, Jill Pillsbury. We've known each other for years.
We have.
You're a life coach, but you've also run a big business with your family.
I have.
So I imagine you didn't do that by just kind of wasting time. I imagine, in fact, I know that you spent specific thought in how you plan your time out and all that.
Exactly.
Time is an interesting deal because it doesn't matter if you're Bill Gates or if you're a homeless person. We all have 24 hours in a day. You can't manufacture more time. And it's really precious. So having that concept in mind is really important that, hey, we got so much time, no matter who you are. It's the great equalizer. Time is what makes everyone equal, whether you like it or not. And how we pay attention to it is really critically important.
Right, and it goes back to life skills, core IQ. It's the core of that. How are you going to manage your time? You have so many hours in the day. How are you going to balance your life so that it's fulfilling and it's happy and it's healthy?
Let's get right into it, Jill, okay?
Okay,
so
sounds good.
I think this graphic is great because it kind of wakes us up to where our time goes. And I thought what would be kind of fun is just kind of go around the dial and talk about each one and where the time goes and where we can squander time or make good use of our time. And then we'll go through some of the key points about time management. Before we go into this, I want to talk about something kind of fun, and it's time zappers, okay? And I, run a business. And I like to have an open door policy. I want to be available to clients. I want to be available to everyone in the office, but we got a lot of people in the office. And so sometimes I need some time for myself. So my office, as you know, it has a French door.
Right.
Glass. I like glass everywhere.
Right.
And so I actually got a sign where I would be open saying, come on in. And I'd put the closed door, and I see people walking up to my office, and they see me on focus on something that says close. It's like, interruptions can really zap a lot of time.
Right.
And I mean, literally, this is on my office door to kind of manage. What do you think about time zappers?
Yeah, and I think, whether you're a big-time executive like Randy, open and closed, or you're a parent or you're a student, we all have people that impose on our times sometimes when it's not convenient. And so how do you handle that? First of all, I would say it's okay to set limits on your time. Be honest and say, hey, I need to get this report done, or I just need some time to finish up this at home in the kitchen. It's okay to set those boundaries because you need to be focused to get through your to-do list and manage your time.
Yeah, so let's talk about something like email. Because I don't know about you, if you sit there looking at your screen, you can spend literally all day on email. How do you handle the email thing?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Technology today, emails, I think, what I try to do is just be quick, going through and deleting anything that really isn't relevant and I really don't need to come back to.
Yeah.
Or I know I'm going to get another email along that same vein. So clear those out first and foremost and set time on your to-do list. I'm going to check my emails. Give it a certain amount of time because you can go down that rabbit hole very quickly.
Yeah, no kidding. And you kind of alluded to this, but kind of batching it. Instead of spreading out through the whole day, say, okay, it's email time for an hour and hit your emails, but don't let it, just soak up all your time. Yeah,
I mean, and social media is a huge time zapper in our society today. And again, I understand that it's also a way to spend time that may be meaningful to you or to catch up. It's your downtime. But be mindful of how much time that takes and how much time you're spending on your computer.
I like the concept of sometimes we just have to say no. Now, my policy is I say a lot of yes. I get a lot of emails, and I'm proud to say I attempt to. I think I do respond to every single one. But a lot of times I'm asked, hey, can you speak here? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I hate to say it, but I have kind of a motto. To do something great means saying you have to say no to a lot of good things. I say no to a lot of really good things because I have kind of an agenda, and it's an aggressive agenda, and so I have to pass up on a lot of good things. But I like to get back to everyone. It may not be immediate, but I know, busy executives that just blow people off. You send something and they don't even respond. I don't think that's cool.
No, and I think to that point, Randy, don't get thrown off track for the entire day. If something comes and interrupts your time, go back to your to-do list, readjust, take a look, and reevaluate what you're going to get done that day. Sometimes those interruptions can be more valuable than crossing something else off your checklist.
Yeah.
You know, a coworker in need, a friend, a child, a parent. Sometimes your checklist and to-do list may not work exactly to the T the way you've scheduled it for the day. That's okay.
Yeah.
Don't waste time and negative energy worrying that you've gotten off track. Adjust. Move forward, know that maybe that was valuable time.
I like that. Another time zapper is some office conversations. I'm all for having fun. I'm all for playing jokes on each other.
Yeah.
I'm all for entertaining each other. But sometimes that gets out of hand, and sometimes it can zap a lot of time. It's not cool. It's not cool to the business, and it's not cool to the clients. It's not cool to our families, whoever, whatever organization we're talking about. It's
Or your
not cool.
coworkers.
Yeah, our coworkers. Because if I'm squandering time, and I'm doubling down when I waste someone else's time.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I think that just goes back to boundaries. It's okay to say to a coworker, I'd love to talk more later, but I've really got to get this report done, or this phone call made, or this email out.
I think it's a matter of just having the conversation, being aware of the issue, saying hi and chatting for a minute or two. Of course, we want to do that.
Right.
But being aware that, hey, you know what, I've kind of crossed the line, and now I'm squandering time, not just mine, but someone else's.
Right.
We want to stay away from that.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Any other time zapper ideas?
I think we've covered quite a few. Again, I think people are going to impose on your time. It's going to happen. Adjust. Get back to your to-do list. Know that maybe some of those things that pulled you off had some value, and let that be okay. Be mindful of the time you spend on the computer. That's this whole age of technology. You can go down that rabbit hole pretty quickly. Checking emails, social media, Instagram, kids, watching videos, watching YouTube things, shopping. Just be mindful of the way you're spending your time.
So first one, 56 hours a week in sleeping. That's 33% of our time. A third of our time is sleeping. There's no way around that.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but we need to sleep. Life isn't just about running from one thing to another, right? We need to refuel, we need to replenish, we need to have some downtime, and sleep is a time to give yourself an opportunity to tackle the things that you need to tackle.
I think you're right. I like studying lives, great lives, and I've studied Albert Einstein's life. He didn't sleep a lot. Harry Houdini slept like 3 hours a night. It was kind of freakish. Mm-hmm. But I know for me, I don't know about you, you need 7, 8 hours, and you got to have your rest.
Right, and everybody is different. I mean,
right.
I think you bring up a good point. Some people can run on 5 or 6 hours sleep a night. Some people need 7 or 8. Again, sleep's important. It helps you be productive. It keeps you healthy. Yeah. It gives you some downtime to recharge.
Yeah, so that's really up to you as the watcher of this series, to kind of decide what's right for you. But if you're the person that needs 8 hours, take the 8 hours, because if you're trying to burn the candle too much and get by on 4 hours, you're going to burn out. So figure one that out for what works for you. Now, 14 hours eating, that's 8% of our time is eating. There's a good side to that and a bad side to that.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Good.
Yeah.
I think mostly good. Again, it's kind of like sleep, right? We need time to recharge, refuel. It's like a car. Your car needs gasoline. We need energy to get through our to-do list, our calendar, our days. Again, whether you're a student, whether you're out in the work world, you're managing a household, kids, you need that time to recharge. It also is a social time. It can be, a time to meet with somebody, catch up with a loved one. It can be really valuable time. It can be productive time. You can have a meeting at lunch. So again, it takes up 8% of our time, but it is valuable.
Yeah, and business lunches are a great way to both get the eating done and, get some business done and connect with people.
Right.
So there's that way of looking at it. Now, we want to end up on the red last, so let's go this way.
Okay.
We have, in Southern California, we got even more than that. 5-hour commute, 3% of our time is commuting. Now, some people have a very short amount of commute time because some people work from their homes. Some people have a hideous amount of commute time. Mm-hmm. But what can we do to make this commute time more effective?
So I would suggest that you use this time in the car depending on what you need to do, again, time management has to do with calendaring and checklists and to-do lists. And so this time, driving to work or driving home from work, can be productive time or it can be downtime, sort of depending on how your day or your week is playing out. Certainly in today's world with podcasts and TED Talks and the Bluetooth in your car, you can use this time to enrich your life, to stimulate yourself, to catch up on news. It's also a great time to make a phone call. It can be a business phone call, checking something off your to-do list. It can be a personal phone call, somebody you haven't talked to for a while, a family member that you need to reach out to. So it can be useful time. It can just be downtime, listening to some music.
Yeah.
The other thing is, some people have the luxury living in a city. They can coordinate a ride share. They can use public transportation. And that really allows you to take advantage of that commute time. Hands-free. You can be on your computer. You can be on your phone. There's a lot you can accomplish. So if that's an option, that's a good way to use that time.
I happen to know that Barbara Streisand, she lives kind of in an upper area of Malibu, and other celebrities do this too, but they actually have vans that are outfitted, so they get in the van and they're actually working on editing things and working on their productions as they drive into the studio. Mm-hmm. I don't know, we all have the money or inclination to do
luxury,
that. Yeah, it's a nice luxury. But the real point is, time is valuable. She gets that her time is valuable. All our time is valuable.
Right.
So finding these ways with the podcast, listening to a book, an audiobook.
Book on tape.
Make that time productive to the extent that you have commute time. So the next one we got is a 19% in terms of the hours we have on the weekend. Now, I don't know about you. I see you down on the beach with your family. Beach time, play time, weekend time is important time.
It is important time.
Yeah.
It is important time. I mean, and the weekends are a great time to take advantage of family, like you say, catch up on something around the house. It's a valuable time, and it's something that needs to be worked into your schedule, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my personal philosophy is I will work like a freak Monday through Friday. I really will. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I get up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I just kind of own it. I work like a freak, but the weekends, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I do that all on purpose because I need my downtime. I really do. And so I swear to you, last Sunday at like 8 in the morning, my cell phone went off with a client calling me. And you know what I did? I didn't answer it.
Wow, good. That takes discipline. Yeah. That takes discipline.
You know what? I'm not 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I'm not always open. I'm not always available. I'm going to kind of compartmentalize. And for myself, I'm very productive of this because I don't want to become a workaholic freak.
Right.
Because we could work all the time if we let ourselves go there.
Right. I think it goes back to that life balance, right? So, we all want to lead happy, healthy, fulfilling lives.
Right.
And so to do that, we need to balance. We need to balance our productivity, our to-do lists, demands on our time from an employer, from a job, from our kids, from our professors if we're a student. And so it really is a balance. So to figure out when that downtime is, it is important, and to carve it out. And it's valuable. It's valuable time.
Just because we're goofing off and playing doesn't mean it's not valuable. Because we need the downtime. We need time at the lake or the beach or the playing tennis, whatever you're into, or just sometimes you got to sleep in. Let's face it. I just did an international flight and I slept until 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Right.
So you got to take good care of yourself, and you can't always be on.
Right, and part of that too, I would add, is knowing when to say no. I mean, really, you bring the example up of saying no to this particular client that called on Sunday. And that could be a work-related demand on your time. It could be a social pressure. Overbooking and overscheduling isn't really balanced, right?
Right.
So it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to a social outing. It's okay to say no to an extra activity for your child, to say no to a work demand if you're protecting some time that you need.
Yeah. So I think in this conversation we're kind of getting a sense, you said it, is balance.
Right.
Is that time, you got to be aware of it. There's times where you want to go, pedal to the metal, octane, go for it. There's times to back off and rest. You can't always be off, you can't always be on. It's finding the right moments where you're doing things in those kinds of ways.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, so the next one is really interesting. It's the time before and after work or school. You know, it's that morning time and that evening time. And I'd like to discuss this in two separate things, before and after, because they're different. Early morning time can be an important time or it can be a rush time, you know, right from the moment the alarm clock goes off. So what thoughts do you have?
The morning hours, everybody wants to start their day in a different way.
Yeah.
And some people have the luxury to do that, some don't, you know. Parents, sometimes you have kids, you're trying to get out the door. As an adult, you know, your time is your own. Maybe you want to ease into the day, as you say. Again, I think it's a short amount of time, and it's a time that you need to be aware of not trying to cram too much in to your day.
Yeah, and this morning time is a big deal to me because I'm kind of freakish. I wake up a lot of times at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I love it because the whole house is asleep and I have time to do my thing. I like to write books. I like to read books. So that's perfect time for me to just kind of sit down. You can meditate, pray, read, write, whatever you're into. The important thing is we're having the conversation, and that's what everybody should do. The problem is when someone sets the alarm right at the max of when they have to get up, they hit the snooze button, now they're late, now they're rushed, now they're frantic, and that starts off the day bad. I'd rather back it up and have the discipline to get up early and do things my way.
Yeah, well, 3 or 4, that's really early. I don't know about you all, but
no, I'm a freak.
that does work for some people. But again, I think what you're saying, Randy, is just think through maybe your day and your routine and what is a realistic amount of time. What are the things that you need to get done, demands on your time, making lunches, getting kids out the door to school, catching up on reading or something. Think about your morning and what it is that you have to do or you'd like to do to start your day, and make sure you have a reasonable amount of time and not too many things crammed into that.
Yeah, I'm not recommending everybody gets up before the morning. That's just my thing. The important thing is you do your thing. The one thing I would caution is give yourself some breathing room so it's not a frantic experience.
Right.
That's the key thing.
Which again is thinking it through, planning, managing your time.
Yeah. Okay, so then we go to work, which we're going to leave for last, and we get back from the office or we get back from school, whatever our thing is. And there's the time from there to the time we go to bed. What do you think about that period of time?
You know, it's interesting. One of the things that we haven't really touched on that I think a lot of people like to incorporate either before work or after work would be some type of exercise. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing. I think a lot of people save it to the end of the day. Some people get up and do it in the morning, but I think that's a great use of time to kind of recharge, get your endorphins going, to either start your day or end your day. Coming home from work, you know, I think hopefully most of us can leave work or school behind, so we come in the door, we're present with our family. Family dinners, I know, are something that I think we both agree on that are really important use of time. The TV is something we've talked about being a downtime vehicle, but once you settle into TV, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit game over. So if there's anything valuable that I feel like I want to do, whether it's exercise, time with my kids, looking through a magazine, catching up on the news, making dinner, setting a nice table, those are things that I think I need to get done before I settle down and watch some TV.
Yeah. So watching TV is totally fine, but think about it. Just don't get in the habit and do it conscientiously. Yeah. And I like your comment about it's game over time.
Yeah, it's hard to recharge. I'm going to sit down and watch this show. Oh, now I'm going to get up and have a nice conversation with my child or my spouse or my roommate.
Yeah, totally get it. Now, are you an exercise person in the morning or after?
I am in the morning. But I've kind of throughout the cycle of my life, depending on different demands, exercise is a huge priority for me. Mm-hmm. It takes time out of my day, but it's a huge priority for me, and it helps me, I think, manage my time more effectively. You know, at this phase of my life, I am and have gotten used to a morning exercise program, but after work, before I get home, that's another great time to do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of morning too, because I've kidded myself. I'm too busy in the morning, thinking I'm going to have magical time appear in the afternoon. If I don't get it done in the morning, it doesn't happen. But that's my own internal conversation. We all have to have these conversations and say, okay, when are we going to get this done for real?
And you find a program or a place that you like. If there's some place after work, it's convenient, and you meet people there after work, that's a great use of time rather than going home and plugging into the television.
So we've covered a lot of important ground, but we're saving the big red enchilada for last, because that's where a lot of people really get into this whole time management conversation with our work. Now that can be different things to different people. It may be work like a job. It might be work as a student because we're going to school. It might be a stay-at-home parent. Whatever the thing is, there are these kind of productive hours during the heart of our weekdays that we want to manage really carefully.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
Randy, I think that there are really two critical tools that can really be helpful for managing our time. One is a calendar, and the other would be a to-do list.
Okay, I agree. So let's take it one at a time. Let's first talk about calendars. So what does your calendar look like to you?
So my calendar, I use a combination of a printed calendar because I like to see it visually laid out, and I also use the calendaring system on my phone for quick reference.
Okay, so tell me, how do you kind of balance? Because I do the same thing, and the problem I'm having in the new technology thing is I'll put it on my phone and forget to put it on paper, or vice versa.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
I take time generally to do it immediately if I can. It's not a perfect science. I try not to spend and waste time making sure that everything is diligently gone over and cross-referenced. But for the most part, I just quickly will write it and put it in my phone.
I tend to put my travel on my paper calendar. I don't know why, but I do. And then I am getting more and more into the phone.
Yeah.
And then when my assistant or someone in the office, we actually have a system where if someone can actually schedule something that shows up on my calendar, I can see their calendar. So the electronic calendar is actually taking more and more precedent in my own world.
Right, and especially for work.
Yeah.
I think some people organize their calendaring that way, where they'll have personal on one vehicle, and they'll use a calendaring system at work that is open and available for other people in the office.
Yeah. Now one of the things I miss about the old days, for me.
A lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things. But one thing I miss is when I had a paper calendar, I had it all there, and then what I would do, and I still think it has merit, is I would circle everything I wanted to batch. So if I was going to get in the car, I would do all the things that were circled because it entailed, getting in the car and going place. So if there are different things I need to pick up. The other thing is prioritizing things, because if the things on the calendar were not of equal importance, I didn't want to start at the top and work down because I might be working, starting on something that really wasn't that important.
Right, exactly. And I think you're kind of moving into the discussion about a to-do list or a checklist of sorts, right? And obviously that's going to mirror and tie into your calendar.
Yeah. And I literally ran into my office before doing this episode, and I grabbed my to-do list. Now, mine's not, I'm going to show you mine, then you tell me about yours, and I'll learn from you. I just take a white piece of paper, and I fold it in half, and I write everything down. And I don't know about you, but I get a buzz checking them off.
Yeah, right. And you should do that.
Yeah.
Put down some things that are easily accomplished.
Yeah. And then I just kind of work through this checklist. It's not sophisticated. What does your checklist look like?
It gets the job done. So really, we're talking about taking and using your calendar for some bigger events, overview of travel, maybe appointments, etc., and then breaking it down into a to-do list, which is manageable daily tasks that you're going to check off and cross off. Yeah. And mine is kind of basically the same thing. It'll be just a quick piece of paper. I'll have a to-do list, and it'll have everything on it from A to Z. Immediate things, get dog food, get milk, to bigger things, finish that report that's due next week, pay the bills. And like you, I prioritize and organize them somewhat chronological, so my day makes sense. Oh, I'm jumping in my car going to work. I can drop this at the post office. I can pick this up. Now I'm at work. I'm going to work on that report that's due next week.
Yeah. So I think the important takeaway from this conversation is to think about time, have a discussion about time, plan your time, don't squander time. That doesn't mean don't relax, but don't waste time. And absolutely required. If you're going to be smart and successful and fulfilled, you got to have a calendar and you got to have a to-do list.
Yeah.
You manage it in different ways. We're actually going to have episodes where we really, go deep into those tasks. But the essential thing really is that anybody and everybody should have a calendar and a to-do list. Literally, volunteering at the homeless shelter down the street, I was teaching life skills to the homeless people, and I said, it's really important to have a calendar and to-do list. And this homeless guy goes, wow. He was really eager to get a job. He says, I used to have a calendar and to-do list when I had a job. And I go, exactly.
Yeah.
And he says, well, what do I put on? I said, well, just start with the time you're going to get up and the time you're going to go to bed and 3 meals, because at the shelter they serve 3 meals. Right. And then say, okay, I'm going to plan a little time to put resumes out. And the lights started going on. You know what happened, Jill? He got a job.
Yeah,
I swear.
I was going to say, to that point, time management is just as important for folks that feel like they don't have enough on their to-do list, right? Because it's easy to squander that time. I think there's an old adage that says, if you have 100 things to do, you get 99 of them done. If you only have 5, you don't get anything done. So again, if you're one of those people that feels like, wow, my life has slowed down, I don't have that much going, scheduling and time management is just as important for a life balance. Put on your calendar, I'm going to call, my mom and make a dinner date, or I'm going to reach out to someone to help me get my resume updated to find a job. I'm going to seek out some volunteer opportunities. So no matter what we do, whether we're overscheduled or underscheduled, managing our time is important.
Well said. Yeah. Thanks, Jill, for coming on and talking about this. So those are the basics. We're going to dive in deeper in other places. The important thing is we had the conversation, not just about time management, but all the core IQ skills. Make sure you like and share the videos. So we'll see you next time.